From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night as we waited for that housing data on afternoons, and it was released minutes ago, and it's not particularly good. We'll go over the latest detail on the housing numbers released today. It's one in a series of numbers. Yesterday, the home builders missed. Today, the housing starts were horrible. And tomorrow, existing home sales as well. But the great news is that with all this inflation, your benefits are going up. Oh, baby. About $5,000 more per year. I'll go over the latest details on why this inflation helps you. And then a big shocker tonight as the Build Back Better Act is back. It's back with the confusion of last week's inflation. CPI higher, Thursday the PPI beat as well, and retail sales as well. The latest details on the housing markets, the latest details on the benefits going up, and the latest details on the Build Back Better Act. It's a major night with a lot of major breaking news. But the great news is you're not going to wait for any stimulus checks. No, you're not, because we're already in a recession, and you're going to get those 4 stimulus checks that allow law across the land. What do? You go under this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. And you get those incredible checks. You need them because we're in a recession tonight. Those huge checks are absolutely incredible. They were made law back in the month of March by Joseph Biden, and our viewers of the channel have been getting them ever since. About $100,000. Federal stimulus, series of different checks. I'm going to go over all those incredible checks for you in tonight's recording from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Single individual, $75,000 less, you qualify. Married couple, $150,000 less, you qualify. And if you're on benefits, SSI and SSDI railroad benefits, you get it as well. Later in this recording, we're going to go over all those incredible checks. Go into this video, become a member, and stay in the second half. Plus, we'll be going over the latest great news of your benefits going up an astronomical amount. Why? Because of inflation that tracked yesterday, last week, and tonight as well. We'll go over the breaking news on inflation this evening. Then we turn to recession. And the corporate earnings recessions continue to manifest themselves today in new numbers. Go over the latest on that. And finally, the Build Back Better Act. 2 bills, not one. It's breaking news tonight. You'll hear it in the second half. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's America's most watched show in prime time, expanding now to 3 channels of programming. We'll go over the latest details on what's coming to LA in less than 2 weeks. It's a big night with a lot of major news, a lot of major money, and a lot of major great details for you. It's evenings. And good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful night for a gorgeous July 19th, 2022. Look at that data. We have a series of data points released this week, and the new one came in minutes ago. What happened on Monday? On Monday, the home builders had a bad drop. On Tuesday, the housing starts were released minutes ago, all the latest. And tomorrow, it's existing home sales. These numbers are critical for you and your money. Let's go over the breaking news. It's just minutes ago. It was previewed on afternoons. I did not have the data then, but I have it just minutes ago. There's 3 housing numbers being released this week. Monday's numbers yesterday, Tuesday's tonight, and Wednesday's tomorrow. They're all important because they show where inflation's going. And minutes ago, I had the Tuesday numbers for July 19th. These are the number of housing starts or new homes which went into construction the prior month. Wall Street was looking for an increase of 1.4%. Was it an increase? No. Was it on the money? No. Was it a fall? It was a fall, dramatically. Down 2% in 1 month when they were looking for a rise of 1.4%. The reaction to the news, here's the quote from a wonderful Ian Shepherdson, Pantheon Microeconomics chief economist. The housing builders need to adjust rapidly to a world of fewer buyers, with more competition for private sellers whose listings have jumped by 1/3 in the 3rd months. In short, housing construction is nowhere near the bottom. Oh boy, folks, it's the latest inflationary number that's being released tonight. Yesterday, we had the National Association of Home Builders, the Wells Fargo Housing Index. This is more a consumer confidence number. It's on the builder side. What was their confidence level? It dropped 12 points to a 55. It's the second biggest drop of confidence among builders in the 37-year history of the index. The last time it fell more was at the start of the pandemic when it fell 40 points to 30 at the start of COVID-19. Challenges for the housing market, says Robert Diaz, NAHB chief economist, on Monday. Significant segments of home buildings are pricing people out of the market. This, my friends, is why you have to get a forced stimulus check. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state tonight from federal stimulus done by the executive action of Joseph Biden back in the month of March. And we're going to go over all those incredible checks later in the recording. Here's a preview. Done by executive action from Joseph Biden back in the month of March. These incredible checks by Biden are approximately $100,000, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. If you're on benefits, SSI and SSDI, we're going to go over how to get these incredible checks later in this recording. Become a member. Go right in this video and become a member to get those incredible checks in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over these big checks. But let's go into that inflationary data. This is fascinating because inflation will help your benefits go up approximately $5,000 more per year. It started on Wednesday, continued on Thursday, and followed into Friday. The CPI number released on Wednesday signaled that inflation has not settled down. That consumer price index number that gauges consumers' products you buy showed the number went higher. With that number going higher, what does it mean for your benefits? Lots of great news. On Wednesday, last Wednesday, the consumer price index number was released and it shocked the markets. How much did it shock the markets? Well, they were anticipating a 8.8% read compared to the month before at 8.6%. What did it come in at? You ready? Here we go. The month of June came in at 9.1%. A massive rise. Inflation has not settled down. This is great news if you're on benefits because your benefits are going up a lot. That was the CPI on Wednesday. Then we went into Thursday, and what happened on Thursday last week? The producer price index number was released, and that number continued to surge higher as well. That's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every USA. You got to get this money, folks, because inflation has not settled down. But this PPI going higher is great news for your benefits. What happened on Thursday? The producer price index number was released, and it surged higher as well. How high? Second highest on recorded history. It came in at 11.3% when the record is 11.6%, and that was in a week in which jobless claims surged out of control. Then we went into Friday when we had the retail sales numbers, the third of the trifecta in determining if inflation's with us, and the retail sales rose 1% in the month of June, higher than expected. Well, there you go. Three numbers that show that inflation's going higher. If there's one thing I'm making very clear on this channel in the recent days is you need to track two things. One, recession, because it gives you guidance on how the value of your money is. And two, inflation, because it gives you guidance on how much your benefits are going up. Tonight, we're going to go over how much those benefits are going up starting right now. It's all for you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Veterans Benefits, SSA, Social Security. It's a lot of money. And we're looking at a series of months. What's going on? Let's go over everything you need to know right now. Your benefits are definitely going up, and that's you, approximately about $5,000. We're going to go over the calculation in a second, based upon inflation going higher. And who is you? You. If you're on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits as well. And this is absolutely incredible. It's dependent upon 3 months of data, July, August, and September. We're currently in July, but we'll see what happens thereafter. Let's go over what's happening. The reason why that CPI, PPI, and retail sales number is so important for you folks is because this is going to tell you how much your benefits are going up. What's going on? Your benefits every year have a benchmark called COLA, C-O-L-A. It's determined by another number, inflation, in the CPI, which we just went over. It has a subsection called the CPI-W. 3 months of the CPI-W's data determines how much your benefits go up. And those 3 months you just saw in that graphic, July, August, and September. Early in this recording, we already saw that the June CPI surged out of control. Highest level we've seen of this generation, of this recording, of this channel, 9.1%. If inflation stays as high as it is right now for this month, next month, and the month after that, that's July, August, and September, you're going to be doing a pear dance. I mean, you should probably be doing a pear dance right now, because this is everything we've ever wanted. This is SS200, SS300, the raise of your benefits, the massive lift of your benefits, not just 1 month, not just 1 year, but a lifetime. Why is this happening? Because of inflation. So that's why you need to know and watch the videos on a regular basis. What's going on with inflation? Because if inflation stays where it is or goes higher, your benefits going up a lot. Let's go over everything about how that works. First, is it automatic? Yes. You don't have to do anything. Automatic raise of more money, more checks to your wallet. Number two, who? You. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, all of you. Number three, the same percentage? Yes. The same amount? No. So everyone has a different amount of benefits based upon your prior income or prior lifestyle. And that amount of raise is the same percentage, but a different amount based upon who you are currently. Many viewers will see 5,000. Some viewers will see more as well. Incredible, great news. So as a family, we're going to watch the next 3 months. This month, July released in August. August released in September. And of course, September released in October. Now, why was the housing data that I started this video with so important? Because that's about inflation. It gives you guidance on what's going on with inflation. And we learned that from the Fed governors last week that said they're looking at this housing data to see if this inflation has settled down. Well, the Federal Reserve is slowing down the housing market dramatically. Now, the other number you need to really know is what's going on with recession. You need to go all over what's going on with recession, because that's the value of your money. And tonight we have more data about that recession. Where do we see the recession? Where is the recession? And where is it going? Last week, a data report, a new poll report released, said that most Americans believe we're going to recession next year. It's sort of ironic that's what Americans say, because guess what? In February of this year, I was the only financial analyst that said we're going to have a recession in this economy. No one else would dare say it in February of this year. But I said it's coming next year. It's not coming next year. It's already here. The hurt, the feel of it's coming next year. Why are we already in recession? Because we've already posted 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, says the Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker. The official announcement, the official confirmation, comes from the Department of Labor around July 21. Now, we need to understand where the recession is in the economy, because it impacts your wallet. What I've been teaching on this channel is that recession starts in different parts of the economy, different parts of the United States at different times. And tonight we saw that as well again. How do we see it? We see it in corporate earnings. Corporate earnings last week with 2 major banks showed that for the second quarter of 2022, their earnings were down 50%. Astronomical. Those were banks. Today we didn't have banks. Today we had IBM and the NCR, Cinemax, of course, the movie theater, Johnson & Johnson, Hasbro, the toy company. And what do we have? We had a series of beats. They came in higher than Wall Street expected on their second quarter earnings. So there you go. Recession doesn't hit everyone at the same time. The way you're going to see the recession manifest itself as well is, of course, in the labor numbers. This Thursday, we're going to look at the number of unemployment claims, and it's released every Thursday morning. And what are we looking for? I'm predicting a 250 read come in either this week or next week. Why is this not good, and what will it do for the markets? Well, 200,000 unemployed people per week brand new is not good. It was 188 about 4 weeks ago. I said that is where it should be. That's coming out of the pandemic. That's what it should be. It was 200,000 when we started COVID. Well, what happened 4 weeks ago? It shot up from 188 to 200. No bueno. Then it went to 230 as I projected it to go. After 3 weeks of 230 and 235, last week it shocked everyone by going to 244. This is 244,000 new unemployment claims per week. Why is this important, and why is earnings recession important for you understanding your recession? Because the way it's going to work is the following. Businesses are going to have less income, as you saw with those banks, with those earnings down 50%. And when they have less income, they're going to lay people off. As they lay people off, people are going to seek unemployment benefits, and that's where it's going to manifest itself in this economy. So tonight, that's where we are. Inflation tracking higher, recession upon us, and the corporate earnings not potentially all taking the same hit at the same time. Amidst all that, we do have a wonderful breaking news story tonight, and it is great. And I'll be tracking it in the next 24 to 48 hours. It started last night. You heard it first on this channel. It is the deal on gasoline. Yes, this is a big one. Natural gas is provided to Western Europe by Russia, and that natural gas is fed through a pipeline called Nord Stream 1, featured on this channel back on the 12th of this month. At the time, I told you that France and Germany were worried that Russia was going to turn off their gasoline permanently. Why? It's currently under maintenance, that pipeline, till July 22nd. But heads of state from Germany and France all believe that Russia will not turn it back on. So, in a pivotal, critical, great, inspiring move, the head of the EU sent its chief negotiator to Azerbaijan and bought the oil. This is natural gas in this case. It's not petroleum oil, it's natural gas, and that deal's critical. If only the President of the United States would do the same thing. We are currently missing 3.5 million barrels of gasoline currently in the United States economy every day, not just us, but internationally. 3.5 per day. And yet, if you remember this channel, what have you seen in the last 2 days? Did you notice in the membership newsletter last night? It was fascinating. The international price of gasoline surged higher, the highest jump we see on this channel, I think in almost 2 months, because it was 98 just last weekend. Tonight's about 107. That's a big jump because remember, 120 is the highest we've ever seen it. On the other side, the U.S. unleaded domestic AAA national average, what you're paying at the pump, fell even more, went the other direction. And it's now only 20 cents more than when Putin invaded Ukraine. It's about 440, 450. What's going on here, LA? It's the dichotomy and the contrast of the oil traders. They're trading one up and trading one down based upon what they're seeing with the recession. Don't take much of it at issue. This is why you have to get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. A recession, inflation, and there's a lot of things going on. Let's go over those incredible fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You deserve them. You need to get them. Let's go over each of them right now. Those incredible four stimulus checks in every U.S. state became law in the month of March, and viewers have been getting them ever since. These incredible four stimulus checks are astronomically huge, about $100,000, made law by the President of the United States in the month of March. A series of executive actions, federal stimulus, now in every state, because it's federal stimulus, it's not state stimulus. And how much? A whopping $100,000 across all these incredible checks approximately. We're going to go over each of those checks later in this recording. Remember, you qualify. This is executive actions. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits. If you're single, if you're young, if you're old, if you have a beautiful hairstyle, if you go to a San Francisco hairstylist or you don't, and if you dance to Mitchonse or have lobster sauce or like Brussels sprouts or don't, you all qualify. I think I covered all of you right there, didn't I? How do you get these incredible checks? Go on in this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Get these incredible checks later in this recording. These four stimulus checks are now in every U.S. state. You deserve this money. Go under the video and become a member. And we'll go over all those incredible checks in the second half. Unemployment is likely to surge, and that surging of unemployment is really an issue. But what's important is to understand how to get money right now. I got 3 pots of money for you in this recording in the second half. 4 stimulus checks, raising up your benefits about $5,000, and the Build Back Better Act with major breaking news tonight about potentially 2 different bills. With that, let's go right into our membership worksheets right now to take notes, because this is a lot of information in just a second. The LALATE worksheets are a free offering for members. They're in the 3rd line of the newsletter every night. It'll say worksheets. You click the link it opens up a PDF, a series of 5, 7, 8, 9 pages written by me, specifically only for you, the members of this channel. And those PDFs, you can print them out or you can take notes on a separate piece of paper. You don't need a printer. You can use just your cell phone. And let's go over what we learned on the first page tonight. Inflation. Is inflation tracking higher? Yes, it is. We had that housing data released today and yesterday signaling yet again, inflation does not look like it's peaked. And I've been telling you that we're watching gasoline. Here we go. International Brent crude surging to 107. Gasoline is part of inflation. If gasoline goes higher, inflation goes higher. It doesn't look like inflation has peaked. Recession. Tonight we learned that it depends on which corporation you are. Recession starts at different times for different businesses. It also starts with different parts of the economy and different states across the states. Next, labor. We're looking to see those unemployment claims on Thursday morning on Mornings LA live on air. I'm looking at a 250 read. I'm expecting 250,000. I think that's really when Wall Street's going to get shocked. I thought they would get shocked at 240,000. They weren't. So I think a bigger number like a 250 is really going to surprise them. Remember, 244 is the highest number of 2022. And the Federal Reserve. Anything really new about them? No. In the last few days, I said, the Federal Reserve is going to do 75 or 100 basis point. I don't think it really makes a difference to you which one it is because neither is good. The second page of the incredible worksheets is one the viewers really like. It's a table created by me for you to keep track of your stimulus. Check C's. There's a lot of check C's, about 20 of them. Check B, check A. What day did you apply? Who paid you? For example, let's say you got the water bill paid by nonprofit number 1 for the month of March, April, May. You need to write down because this is not May. This is July. So you should be getting June, July, and August from someone else or go even further out. And keep track of your contacts. That's why you got to keep track of the money because you don't have to overlap on the respective months, but you can certainly get months unpaid for from another organization. This stimulus is the next page. What do we learn this according? Your benefits are going up a lot based upon this inflation not settling down. We're watching 3 months, July, August, and September. At the moment, it's looking really good. Everyone's benefits go up automatically, and some of you will get at least $5,000. Oil. Shocker there. That major deal for natural gas, being done by the European Community. But the White House still not buying our missing gasoline. And with that missing gasoline still not bought, enjoy cheaper gasoline at the pump at the moment, but it's not going to stay there forever. And finally, the last page of the worksheets is the student loan debt forgiveness. The president has not announced this yet, but he's likely to do $10,000 an individual who makes $150,000 or less. And there you go. It was a fascinating day with a lot of major data. And the other major data that you need to understand across the board is that the Build Back Better Act is back and being called for a vote and being sent to the Senate parliamentarian. But Democrats don't necessarily agree upon whether there's 2 Build Back Better Acts or 1. The Republicans have some statements about this as well. We'll go over the latest on that front as well. And more importantly, the interesting element at point tonight is why some recession is felt in some places and other places not. That consumer confidence number released last Friday signals that Americans' confidence has dropped dramatically. Why? Because they say their salaries are not keeping pace with the increasing price of goods or the increasing gasoline. Tonight, if you're in the live chat, write whether you believe the price of goods in the supermarket have gone down or gone up. I've personally noticed here in Los Angeles that the price of milk, which was really insanely, ridiculously overpriced around the month of April and May, has started to come down in about the last 5 days. I think it's very, very recent. I was seeing milk really surge dramatically in June to price levels, which was almost like, I'll be lactose intolerant for that one, folks. It was just so high. I thought, that is ridiculously that price. I was seeing $6 and $7 at a basic market. And now it's come back down to the $3 and the $2.50 and the $2.80, which was really pre-pandemic numbers. So if you've seen milk and eggs come back down a little bit, jump in the live chat. Why is that so important for us? Because we are the eyes and ears of inflation before it happens. If you see price inflation coming back down, then that may signal what Wall Street was saying last week. New indication says supply chain disruption is improving. If supply chain disruption is improving, then inflation is coming down. It hasn't appeared yet in the numbers. That's why we turn to you and I, because ultimately, if you see inflation easing, then it's seen in the eyes and ears of you in the supermarket before Wall Street sees it in the CPI and PPI. In the second half of this video, we have lots of checks to go over, those incredible 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And here is what you need to remember. Those incredible checks are there now. You need to get those incredible checks now. It's $100,000 and you deserve this money. It's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of the channel. Done by executive action from Joseph Biden in every U.S. state. It's not state stimulus, it's federal stimulus. It's absolutely incredible. A series of different checks, A, B, and C will be the ones I'll detail for you later in this second half. We're going to go over all these incredible checks, the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of the channel. You get money. You get it on the come. A lot of these checks pay out in less than 7 days. Executive action, you don't wait around for Build Back Better Act, which will give you other checks. You don't wait around for the raise of your benefits, which will give you an additional approximately $5,000. You get this, then that, and then the one after that. You get every check you can get when it's available, because it's not available indefinitely. Become a member. Go right in this video and become a member. And in the second half, we got a lot to go over with all that shocker of breaking news on what's going on with your benefits for stimulus, Congress, and this inflation. We got a lot coming up in the second half. God bless you. I'll see you back in 60 seconds. As America's most watched show in prime time continues, it's evenings. Plus, I have a preview of what's coming to this family with the 2 new channels, LA2 and LA3. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in a big second half of evenings, LALATE. Hope you have a beautiful night. It is gorgeous here for July 19th, 2022 along the coast, but I expect it to not be so gorgeous in just a little bit. The heat is on. Have you become a member? Go on this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP. Join the channel so you get those incredible checks, which we're going over right now. We're going to go over each of these incredible checks one at a time. It's for you. You deserve it. Thank you for the wonderful new members for becoming part of this community. And I welcome each of you individually in the live chat when I see you join. If I didn't give you a shout out, tag me next time you see me, and I'll give you a shout out then as well. These incredible 4 stimulus checks became law in the month of March. Ironically, they became law the same day that viewers said, can you find me some checks? Back in March, viewers said, hey, they haven't gotten that Build Back Better Act done. Can you get us some checks? And ironically, that day, the president was doing a lot of executive action checks. Those executive actions becoming law those night merely went right into the membership newsletter. I put them right in the newsletter that night. Series of checks, A, B, and C, I give them the alerting system. But the great nuances of each check are huge. First, big sums of money. I wanted big checks for you because we have a recession underway. We have inflation with us. You need huge checks. thousands of dollars of checks, not puny little checks. And we found them approximately $100,000. Number two, you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less annual income, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less annual income, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you're on benefits, SSI and SSDI, railroad benefits, go get them. If you like Brussels sprouts, you can go get them as well. Then, these incredible checks are done by executive actions from Joseph Biden. They're not state stimulus, so they're all from the President of the United States. Let's go over each of those wonderful checks, starting right now. We're going to start, of course, with the start of the alphabet. The very first check, it is a Check A. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 for a stimulus check in every U.S. state. You qualify. You go get it. Do not wait. These incredible checks have been law for several months, and you want to get them as quickly as possible. $6,500 to $12,000, a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, go get it as well. How do you get it? You know the routine. Step one, subscribe to LALATE 1. You're watching LALATE 1 right now. Step two, go under this video and become a member of LALATE 1. Become a member. Join the channel. Get the incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the member YouTube alerts. And go right down into that membership newsletter. If you find Check A, there it is. Click the link. It goes right into the website. Choose your state. It routes you to the state, and then choose the homeowner's weatherizing grant check. Huge, wonderful. But you're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check B. How do you get Check B? Same routine. Subscribe to this channel. Then go under the video and join the channel as a member. Go down till you find the membership. When you get the membership newsletter, go down to Check B. It has its own link for Check B's application. You go right into it, choose your state, and apply. Same eligibility, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. And if you're on benefits, absolutely go get it. Wow, did you just see that? Look at that. That's $100,000 right there. And Check A is $12,000. Check B, $80,000. We're doing really well, but we're not going to stop. No, we don't stop. We get every check. That's how we do it on LA. You get every check so that you get that financial independence. Check C. It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. How do you get this wonderful Check C? And what do you do with it? First, you subscribe to this channel. Then you go under the video and join the channel. Become a member. And then when you get the membership newsletter, go down to Check C. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. Check C has been around a while. It's the residue of third stimulus. And the success stories of Check C are in the thousands. Here's some of the success stories. We have a lot of them. Here's a sampling of some of the success stories. And it dates back to 2021. Here you go. For Nisi all the way up to Elizabeth at $27,000 for rent, go get it for Check C. Do you want these incredible numbers for utilities? Go get it. Like Angela, Mark, and Nancy, Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. The same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 for SNAP over 10 years. Go get it. Combinations. Combinations is a combinations of checks, such as water and heating, rent and utility and electric, mortgage and gas. It's a combination of checks. Because you qualify for these different checks, go get a combination of checks. Nisi was at $23,000. Mark was at $32,000. Nance was at $32,000. What happened? Let's watch what happened. Nisi went from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark went from $32,000 to $166,000. He went to 50, then he went to 100, then he went to 166. There's Lorraine. She was at 105, then she went to 150. And yet Lorraine and Nisi are still getting money to this day. What's the common denominator for Nisi, Lorraine, Margaret, Johnny, and Mark and all these wonderful viewers? A couple things. First, they're in all the live chats. They always know where this economy is because they watch all the videos. You got to know where this economy is. You have inflation, you have recession, you don't need to know where the economy is. Number two, they keep on getting checks. They got, let's say, for example, water for March, April, May. Well, this is July. Why haven't you gotten June? Go back and get June, July, August. That's what they're doing. They're always going back and getting other sums of money. If organization one doesn't have the money, go to organization number two. That's why the membership newsletter works. Check C's has about 20 different places to reach out to. And that's why they're always in the live chat. They're inspiring other people. They're being inspired by other people. If you're on the live chat right now, you've had any success story, post it. Whether it's $100 or $100,000, whether it's today or a year ago, because it inspires other people to do this great effort. Let's recap. Number one, go into this video, subscribe to LA1, which you're currently watching on this channel. Also, jump over to LA2 and LA3, the two new channels coming to this family in less than 14 days. Next, go under this video and hit the membership button, the join the channel button. Join LA1 as a member to get the incredible membership newsletter. Next, go to the front of this channel and hit that bell so you make all notifications set to all on. And then that newsletter. Let's go over that incredible newsletter as a family right now. That newsletter is so simple. It is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts written by me. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. The YouTube alert delivers you the alert. Here's the alert. You go down in the alert, you see the button that says View Post, and you click that button. It's after the guy at the surfboard, and it sends you right into the wonderful membership newsletter. And there you go. Go get this incredible sums of money. Absolutely go get this incredible sums of money. Let's recap that newsletter right now. That's the newsletter across the board. It starts by first remembering that you qualify. First, the LA newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. So know your time zone. Next, it's delivered YouTube alerts. YouTube alert, you'll see in the YouTube alert, if you're signed up for email alert, then it comes by email. The title says for members only, new LA post. The subject line, the body of it says new LA post. You go right down in it. Go down in the alert, till you'll find the view post, click the button, and it says view post. It's right under the guy with the surfboard, and you go right in and you get that incredible newsletter. And you're ready for that financial independence. Get these for some strategies. You deserve them. Remember, the way we do on this channel, we get as much money we can on the come. We don't leave money on the table. You get this money, the $100,000 approximately right now. You get the $5,000 from the membership, from the benefits lift going up. And then you stay with me and you stay with this channel as we go over the Build Back Better Act. And with that Build Back Better Act, let me go over what's happening on that front starting right now. The Build Back Better Act will certainly find a very, very beloved home. Joe Manchin's office. No, on LA2. LA2 and LA3 are the two new channels coming to this family in less than 14 days. LA2 will be talking exclusively about stimulus 24/7 plus humor. The stimulus coverage is exactly for the type of viewer who wants to know what were the negotiations at Tuesday morning between Chuck and Joe Manchin on provision number 1. If you like that type of coverage, that's exactly what LA2 has. Incredible depth of coverage on stimulus. It'll also have all the incredible humor that you love. Sirloin, Javita Late, Blade 66, all back with new shows and pre-existing shows with new seasons. On LA3, we're going to go over money that's important for your benefits. So if you want to know where inflation is because it impacts your benefits, you want to know where this economy is going because of your benefits, that's why you want to tune into LA3. Also, if you want to know where your Brussels sprouts are going, that's why you tune into LA3. With cooking shows like you've never imagined, yes, I even recording shows in the thick of the summer, barbecuing, the most delicious barbecue you could ever have. You hungry yet? Getting ready for LA3. Meantime, if you did not notice, in the last 24 hours, we relaunch LA Live as now a 24/7 show. It's on this channel. All right, let's jump into the Build Back Better Act. This is really fascinating. You've been hearing it throughout the day. It started on Mornings LA Live on air today. Let me tell you what's going on. It's a little bit strange, but I'm going to make it as simple as I can for you by going over all the notions of what's at issue. First, the Build Back Better Act was originally a $3 trillion bill. In about the last 2-3 months, I told you the negotiations have been underway almost daily between Chuck Schumer, the majority leader out of New York, and Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. I said the negotiations were going well. I said they like each other a lot. They've worked alongside a long time, and they're very blunt with each other. So that's why they like each other, because they're both blunt. I also told you that they had a formulated deal last week on prescription medication. So it was looking really good. It's still looking good tonight. Let me tell you what happened. What happened around Thursday and Friday last week is a lot of pivoting changes. I'm going to go over first the procedural part of it, and then I'll go over the substantive. Procedurally, On Thursday last week, Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer both publicly and privately said the following. We've been negotiating for a while. We've achieved incredible achievement. We've gotten a deal on the prescription medication, and this is done. He actually uses the word, it's done. They have now sent it off, Joe and Chuck, to the Senate parliamentarian. She's a nonpartisan government official who looks at the provision, this time it's the prescription medication, to determine whether it lawfully can be in a reconciliation bill. That is great news. One, because they both agree it's been done. Number two, they're ready to call vote. And number three, they've sent it off to her. That was them. So what has happened since they sent it off to them, after her? Joe Manchin has said procedurally the following idea. He said, Chuck, you and I have been negotiating this. We got an agreement. We're done with this really major section of the Build Back Better Act. We have a deal on prescription medication. We're likely to get the approval from the Senate parliamentarian. Just call the vote on this part of the Build Back Better Act in this month. I'm ready to vote in favor of it. We're done. Sounds good, isn't it? Let me explain what Joe Manchin's talking about. He does not want to call the vote on the climate part of the Build Back Better Act and leave it, in his words, to September. He says, we have no agreement on the climate part, and that needs more negotiations. He said, we'll do that bill, a second bill, in September, and we'll get it done and call for a vote in September. All right, before I go substantively over what's going on, let me go over procedurally. If you've been on this channel for a while, you remember a graphic, which I actually saw in my database in the last 20 minutes again. It's a graphic that goes over how many reconciliations Chuck Schumer has saved up. He's saved up a lot because normally you only have one reconciliation you could do per Senate term, but you can save a prior one that you hadn't used and carry it over. In this case, he also got an extra one for the parliamentarian because of a major win last year. So he has a lot of saved up recons. He can do a recon today. He could do a recon in late July. He could do a recon in September. He can do one in October. He has a lot of them saved up. So procedurally, Joe Manchin's correct. He can do a recon vote today and do another recon vote in September. Is there anything negative about that? No. Is it like you're going to lose votes? No. This is not Republican versus Democrat, where Nancy used to say, we're not going to piecemeal because we'll lose parts. It's not a piecemeal argument. So everything that Joe Manchin's saying makes sense. Let me go over the actual quotes from Joe Manchin. This is procedural. He said that this is done, so why wait? The comments came from Manchin where he says, if you're looking for a political deadline and it needs to be done in July, meaning the vote on the recon, the Build Back Better Act, the one thing you can do is that it's done basically right now, reducing prescription medication, letting Medicare negotiate, and that saves about $280 billion over 10 years. Take $40 billion out of that, extend it to the Obamacare, the discounts that people are getting. He basically says that whole part of the Build Back Better Act is done. Just call the vote. We're done. I'll vote favor. It's done. We already did it. Is he procedurally correct? Absolutely, he's correct. Does it make sense? Yeah. If I was Chuck Schumer, would I do it? Absolutely, I would do it. Why not? I mean, there's nothing wrong with having 3 recons versus 1 recon. Actually, there's something negative about having 1 recon, because if it's a monstrosity, as it is, and one tiny provision in there doesn't pass Manchin, then the entire recon doesn't proceed. Now, is the Senate parliamentarian going to say yes to the prescription medication? Apparently she will. Now, ultimately, she's a nonpartisan individual. She's not a Republican. She's not a Democrat. But we have the comments from Danny Kean, who says it's going to get done. The Democrats, like Lindsey Graham, says they're going to fight against it. Ultimately, I don't really care what Danny Kean or Lindsey Graham say because it's not their call. She's going to prove it, likely, and then is ready for a vote. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A series of other Democrats are fuming angry. They have actually give quotes today saying they're infuriated. Why? Because they think this is a game by Joe Manchin to take out climate from the recon, say he's going to do it in September when he has no intention of doing September, so that the recon is done and that the provision they want in there, the climate's not getting done. Perhaps. I don't know. I really don't know. Do I care about climate? Obviously not. I've always said on this channel, I don't care about climate. So if he's trying to take out climate because he doesn't like it and say he's going to do it in September because he's really not going to do September, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Do you care? Do I care? No, of course we don't care. So I think it makes great sense to call the vote on Build Back Better Act number 1 in July, and then call the vote on Build Back Better Act number 2 in September. Now, what you're obviously asking, where are the checks? How much checks? It's really hard as a news reporter to know how much of the remaining Build Back Better Act is still in there. Because tonight we have essentially 4 different Build Back Better Acts. We had the original one was $3 trillion, landed in the Senate from the House, passed in the House. Then we have the one we were told about over the last week and a half that reportedly was $1 to $1.5 trillion. We don't know if that's the price tag tonight. We don't even know if that one exists still. Then we have the talk about splitting something into 2 halves. Are we splitting 3 into 2 halves? Or are we splitting 1 into 2 halves? We really don't know. What appears in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, it is not, we do not know any facts about it yet. It appears in my opinion that everything that Joe Manchin said he never liked will not survive. And then everything that he said everything he said he likes will survive. So if you go on that opinion alone, I think you're in a good circumstance by calling the vote now and then calling it again in September. Let's look at the provisions and what Joe Manchin's record is on these provisions. $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. Is he saying anything negative about it? No. $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities? No. In fact, he's now said that he has gotten the Obamacare and the Medicare expansion done. So yes, he's actually in favor of this provision. The MSC, has he ever said anything negative about giving you 1 or more stimulus checks? No, he has never said anything about it. He's never said anything positive about it. He's never said anything negative about it. Let's go over the individual clusters. In the first cluster, hazard pay. No comment ever from him. That's the extension of the earned income tax credit for 1 more year. Elder care, well, he's actually now wanted to do the assistance, so that's a positive. $4,000 of care for young children, yes. The CTC, sort of one time a little bit negative against it, but otherwise no. Home repairs and everything, never say anything about it. The nutrition, actually said something in favor of it. And then the $12,500 for the new electric vehicle. He's actually spoken against that one. You go in the second cluster, well, the home repairs is now check A, so that's been removed. That's a check we already went over. And the paid leave, I've said, for months on end, he's very much against it, so I don't think it's ever going to survive. The third cluster, he basically said today, everything in that third cluster supports. Seniors, dental, vision, hearing, free internet. Now, perhaps the nuances, the provisions are slightly different. So far, everything looks really good. That's why I would do it on the come. You know why I would also do it on the come? This is just my opinion, is that you call the vote, and then if someone like a Bernie or an LALATE says, you know what, you should also add this provision. Let's try to add it. They try to add it. It doesn't get in. Then you got another whack at them at it in September. Okay, we all really want to get it in. Let's try it again now, September, and you try again. I rather get multiple attempts to add things into something. So I think this is really good news. LA2 will feature this extensively. If you're the type of person who wants to know every negotiated element at every moment of a congressional bill, that's what LA2 is about. It's like 2020 with Nancy and Steve Mnuchin. It's like Donald with Bernie. It's like Joe with Joe. If you like all that, that's exactly LA2 for you. LA3 will feature more about where your money is valued at and why you need to know how that valuation of that money is so important. The recession is upon us, and here's what you need to know. In the next 90 days, price of goods may continue to track higher. We see no indication that price of goods are going down. Also, the next 90 days, consumer confidence will fall, spending will fall, and also income. We saw that on Friday's number. The recessionary winds will also pick up, and the mortgage rates will drop dramatically. I also had that in today's numbers, but because of running time, I'll feature that tomorrow. Today's housing numbers also show that the retraction of mortgage approvals is down dramatically. Next 90 days, I believe unemployment is going to surge, interest rates will definitely go up, and gasoline prices will go up. What do you need to do? 3 things. Go on in this video, become a member. Get as much stimulus as you can. Prepare your family accordingly by bulking up your savings, because you may think this economy is not that good now. It's a lot worse. It's going to be a lot worse in a very short period of time. Number 2, you need to raise your savings. That's including the stimulus. And next, you need to move all adjustable rate debts. Move all adjustable rate debts in your household. That's the credit card debt, car loans, because J-PAL is going to come in with those major numbers. Thursday, we're going to be watching those unemployment numbers. This week, we're going to be watching those housing numbers coming in on Wednesday. More data tomorrow on the housing. And tomorrow on Mornings LATE, I will be going over more about these numbers we saw today. Again, tomorrow's existing home sales. Today we had the home construction, the housing starts. I'll be analyzing more about those numbers tomorrow. Remember, we're watching any of these inflationary numbers because if they continue to beat, as they did all last week, your benefits are going up a lot. Absolutely incredible. We're watching for 3 months of data, and that's where it is. You need to become a member. Do you see anything like this anywhere else? Of course not. This is LALATE, America's number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, and we are determined to go to number 2. Tell your friends to come on over. Tell your friends to subscribe to this family. Whether it's recession, whether it's inflation, whether it's earnings, whether it's your stimulus, whether it's unemployment, or whether it's your benefits. I got it all covered on this channel. This channel has you covered left and right. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, stay with me throughout the night. The programming continues with Evenings LALATE every night at 5 o'clock. Evenings Live, now at 5:45, a 24/7 show. Incredible. 24 hours of live programming now on this channel. Evenings Countdown at 6 o'clock, Street and Stillness at 7, Extra at 8, 9 o'clock is sunset, and then the programming returns the next morning on Early Mornings LATE at 4 a.m. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. See you tonight, and see you on LALATE.